Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys like the B-roll segment, which was simply done with just two of these lights and one of these $2 box which I got from Daiso. Now more about these lights. This light has been sent to me by this company called Telesin and it has three very unique functions. Number one is ability to have multi-lights. Number two, it can magnetically latch onto metallic surfaces. And it has multiple Coldshoe mounts. If you're interested in this light, you want to keep on watching. Just to preface this video, besides this light, Telesin also sent me this microphone, which we'll review in a later video on my channel. But just for today, we're going to be focusing on this light, which can really do quite a lot of wonders. This will also be quite a detailed video, so there'll be timestamps down in the description below for your easy navigation. Lastly, this has been sent to me, but I'm not paid to give positive reviews about it, so I'll be as honest as I can with the features and the functions and make sure it's worth your money. Alright, before I bore you with more details, let me show you briefly some of the functions of this light so that you know what this can do. Alright, so at the back, it'll look something like this. Really simple and only have one button over here. So how do you on it? You just briefly hold it here. Alright, so once we have it on, this is the first mode. This is a very bright, cool color. And as we press, it becomes warmer. And it has different intensity. It has a total of 5 increments of light output. And then this mode is a SOS mode, which it just randomly blinks red color. I honestly do not know why you need this, but they do have it. And next is the most interesting. You have these colors. All these colors will rotate within different colors. So if you want a certain color, you need to stop. But just briefly go through, it started at pink. And now we have it at blue. And we should slowly move towards green, yellow, and now more of a neutral color, and moving towards purple or red, which is the starting color of all of this. So you will just rotate within the colors, and if you want to stop at a particular color, let's say if you want to stop at blue, I just click it once. And it will just stop at this color. So it's quite interesting and it was able to help me to achieve that B-roll footage at the start. Now that you guys seen all of the basic modes and outputs of this light and what this light can roughly do, let me show you what comes with the box if you buy it in the retail package. So it just basically comes in this little box. Unfortunately, we won't be doing a top down as there isn't a lot of items inside here. So I'll just briefly go through. So once you open it up, you have the light here. And it comes wrapped in this bubble wrap. You have a USB cable. And just the menu, which comes in Mandarin. And of course, English. Yeah, so basically that's what you get from inside and it's rather straightforward. Let's put it aside and just take out the light itself. Now out of the package and the light itself, when I put it at the palm of my hand, you can roughly see that it isn't that big, but it also isn't that small too. If you want to have a good lighting source, you ideally should not be that small because the light will not spread and you'll be very directional. So I find this to be quite appropriately sized. So in terms of thickness, let's measure it. In terms of thickness, it is about 2 cm. Alright, the width is about 6 cm. And the height is also about 6 cm. Now just in case you cannot see the measurements clearly and you also want the alternative dimensions, the measurements are over here. In terms of weight, it is rather light. So off the bat, it weighs really light because of the plastic material. And its official weight is about 90 grams or 0.17 pounds. In terms of design, you can see that it's quite a borderless design. So it just have the light itself without any borders coming out. Now once again, if I on the light, you can see how the light comes out. And nothing is blocking it from the light source from coming out by itself. Alright, let's off it. Okay, same way as you on it, you have to just hold it to be able to off it. So now let's talk about its battery life. How long can this battery last? This battery has a capacity of 2000 mAh, which can last roughly about an hour plus. Now, unless you're using this to be able to go for cave hiking or cave discovery, I think it'll be more than enough for your B-rolls if you were to on and off it for all of your different segments. In any case, if you need to charge it, you can see at the side, there's this USB charging port over here. Now it's excellent having a USB-C charging port because most of my stuff I'm actually using USB cable. Now because comparing with my ALM9, which uses a micro USB, it's really quite hard to find micro USB cables nowadays comparing with USB-C. So this is really a huge plus for this little Telesin light. Now since I have the ALM9 here, let's briefly measure the output comparing with this Telesin light and we see which one is stronger. So that you get an idea of how much of improvement or whether you should consider this above this. But do not worry, later on we have a product photography comparison in detail. So let's on it again. Alright, let's on it at its brightest. And here, let's on it too. Alright, let me remove the filter. Okay, just in case you are curious, I have these two little blue filters to make the light more cool. Right, now that we have the filters out of the way, this is the light as its raw form. I don't know about you, but as you can see in its raw form, this AR-M9 has a much harsher light comparing with this Telesin light. Now as you can see, there's a little sweat on my face, so you can be able to see the reflection or in terms of the harshness of light. But in my opinion, this Telesin light is really more useful as it has a softer feel comparing with this AR-M9, which needs external filters, as you can see, to be able to soften or change the tones of the light. Alright, before I damage your eyes any further, let me off it first. Alright, and as mentioned, I have done a product photography, and here is the comparison between these two lights. Here I have my ever-present and favorite flash bogglehead toy. We have two lights here as mentioned, so let's start with the first, which is the AR-M9. And then the LGT Telesin light. And when we put the two footage side by side, you can see the spillage of the LGT light or the Telesin light, which is much better than the AR-M9. The AR-M9 seems to have a much harsher light and shadows, despite having a layer of diffusion. The color accuracy of the AR-M9 is also slightly poorer compared with the LGT one. So as you can see, this Telesin light is proving to be quite an advantage over this AR-M9 so far. Now that you have an understanding that this will be a more superior light, let's just focus on this Telesin light. Now as mentioned at the start, there are three unique selling points of this little light. So let's start with the first one, which is ability to change the light colors. Now having the ability to change the light colors is really useful as you are able to do different types of photography with this. As you can see at the start, I'm able to use it to be able to have different tones of colors by bringing these two lights. It beats bringing filters all over, such as this cool filter which I put my AR-M9, because you need to bring different colors to be able to adjust the light differently. Once you have this, you can just wait for the light to change and be able to have the kind of light that you want. Alright, just in case you forget how the color tone works, let me on it again. Alright, and we just go to its base color, which is pink. And as we go along the different colors, it will rotate to different colors. So if you want a particular color, you need to stop. Now as mentioned, you cannot adjust the intensity of the light. It is probably at its maximum. So if you want to increase or decrease its light, you just have to move away or towards your subject, which I know can be quite irritating, but you're just looking at the $19 price tag light, which is really quite amazing. Alright, number two is magnetic base. If you can see at the back here, I'm sure you can't, there's actually a magnetic base at the back of this, which allows you to be able to put onto metallic surfaces. It's extremely useful if you do not happen to have a tripod with you or just want to keep things light. Here is me trying out on different magnetic surfaces out in the open. And I must say, it's really handy. But do take note that the magnet behind here isn't the strongest, so if there's a metallic surface with a strong or thick coating, it might not be able to stick that well. As you can see from this example, it actually slid down because of the coating on this thick surface. And if you were to put weight on this, it might also slide down, so just do take note. But for normal and exposed metallic surfaces, this should do just fine, as you can see from these three examples. Number 3 is its Coldshoe mounts options. Now, just in case you did not have a close-up view, you can see there are actually 3 different Coldshoe mounts options. Now, let's start from the top. We have this 1, 2, and 3, which makes it excellent as you can mount multiple lights on top of this. So here I have my other light. Oops, so I never off the light. And you can just put it over here. Alright, let me show you at the back. And you can just put it over here and just mount it. And here you have 2 lights side by side. Now, the ability to mount multiple lights or other accessories is almost indefinite. You can put other accessories such as audio or even small little monitors to be able to enhance your overall setup. Now that all these points mentioned, I'm sure you are also curious how well this light works at night. Other than just seeing how strong the light is, you also will be able to see how I use it for my vlogging setup during the night. So here it is. Hi guys, so we are outdoors here and we're going to be testing the light. Here I have one of it and the other one is actually mounted. Here, have a look. Alright, so that was one light. Here I have another light and let's on it. And as you can see, there are different modes as mentioned in my video. So we're just gonna on it and we're gonna attach another light and see how it looks with 2 lights this time. Alright, so here we have 2 lights now installed and here is how it looks behind the scenes when 2 lights are installed. just to reiterate how dark it is, you can see at the back of me, you can't even see it at the back. And we are actually at 6400 ISO. Alright, now that you guys know roughly how it looks as a normal video, let's see how it looks as a vlogging setup. Hi guys, so we are now trying out the vlogging mode, and now we have one light on. So how does it look? Alright, I believe one light you just make some part of me illuminate and not the rest. So now let's on the second light. Alright, so here now we have two lights on. I know the footage is slightly shaky because I'm just shooting on my A6400, which doesn't have stabilization. But roughly this is how it looks with both lights on. I know it doesn't really illuminate the background, but the purpose is just to illuminate the subject itself. And let me know down in the comments below what do you think about the footage with these two LED lights on. Alright, let's head back. So now we are back in the studio. I'm sure you guys are quite impressed with the lights so far too. So let's talk about the price. How much is one? It costs about 19 USD, which is really cheap. Compared with my AR-M9 over here, which actually costs nearly $50. Even though this is more reputable brand aperture, this light is quite sufficient and I'm able to get two of these compared with just one of these if I have $50. So should you get one or two? I'll suggest getting two as you're able to do a lot more with just carrying one light. I'll definitely suggest having two as you have a better spread of light compared with just having one. So now let's conclude. Now I'm really impressed with this TELESIN light. Not only it has different color output options, it can magnetically mount to metallic surfaces and mount different accessories such as light or even small monitors on these different Coldshoe mounts at the sides. So if all of this packed together for a light that is $19, it's really affordable and really good option. Now of course this is a very good light, but it's not perfect. Let me mention two of its downsides. Number one is that you cannot pause on a certain color straight away. You have to wait for the light to rotate the colors as mentioned at the start. Number two, the magnet behind the lights isn't very strong. So just to take note that if you put to surfaces which has a thick coat of paint, it might slip down. But overall, I find these two downsides forgivable for a price tag of $19 as you're unable to find other lights that is really this cheap and this good. If you need something to start with, I'll definitely recommend this TELESIN light. Links will be down in the description below. If you have enjoyed this detailed review, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Do also hit the bell notification over here so that you'll be updated of my latest upload. There'll be a lot of interesting videos coming up as a lot of companies have sent me different things to review, such as this slider from Vector Gear. If you guys missed the video which I talked about this, do click on my episode of Tech-Cited over here, which I briefly cover it and how I managed to get them to send me one. If not, I'll see you guys in the next video.